Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald-headed boy Scribe. Today is Wednesday, and that can only mean one thing: we're about to be galactically challenged. Welcome back, Holotable Heroes. We're heading over to Dathomir, facing off against the droids. Sortie droids. It's an interesting setup over here with droid IG-88, BB-8, Chopper, the maniacal menace himself, and Trip Zero. Interesting setup over here. Now, we need to complete this battle with a full team of Scoundrels, which is great because Scoundrels is a great faction with lots of really good units. We also need to attempt to inflict stun 30 times. I've got some solutions for that, and that is only attempt. You do not need to land it, so if they resist it, it's all good and gravy, baby. Alright, we also need to win with Temple Guard, so make sure if you've got your Temple Guard marquee, no matter what star level you got them at, take them at the appropriate level. We'll cover that. And then finally, if you've got an episode pass, you're gaining some bonuses. So what are the modifiers? We have got the Dathomir global modifier for this one. We are on the Dathomir planet, which means every 10 turns, all units are going to revive, all right? Now, the solution to this is very simple. Take some form of permanent defeat, which is exactly what we're going to do. Our modifier is one step ahead. We're going to gain 30% max health, 20 speed. We're going to be immune to buff immunity. Whenever we take damage whilst buffed, we take 30% less damage and have plus 50% counter chance. We inflict defense down for 2 turns when we are attacked, and this cannot be resisted. Whilst we are debuffed, we also have an additional 10 speed. The enemy has got 30% additional offense on their droids. Whenever they critically hit during their turn, they're going to inflict target lock on us if we didn't already have it. And finally, whenever a droid damages an enemy with target lock, they're going to recover 10% protection. So because this is Scoundrels, because there is a revive mechanic, and because we need to stun, the answer is clear to me. We take in Bounty Hunters. Bounty Hunters is the setup over here. I'm taking in a Bosk, Grief, Mando. That is kind of the core trio. With this, you should be able to survive, and Mando has got a permanent defeat. Over here, I've just taken in some people that can stun, just to make getting those 30 stun attempts that much easier. We can drag this battle out as long as necessary, but this should be able to basically do it on full auto once you hit contract. Let's go into the battle. Here we are on Dathomir with these lovely little nutsacks hanging down. I'm sure they've got plenty of Night Sister zombies inside of those. We just wait. You might lose a unit at the start. If you do, it shouldn't be the end of the world. Get that taunt up with Bosk. Let's immediately... Ooh, do we heal up? I think we actually just mass assist onto Chopper over here. Try and trigger contract is stage 1. Cad Bane has got a stun attempt on his second special. On his special, he only has one. And of course, Bosk's first special has also got a stun. Now, over here on Aura Singh, on her basic, she can also use land a stun, okay? So look, deal physical damage to the target enemy, 70% chance to stun the enemy for 1 turn. So we can use her specials to try and get round to it eventually, but ultimately we're just trying to trigger that contract. Right now, it's on Trip Zero, but I don't recommend going in after Trip Zero. We should probably be focusing on units that have got lower health. So I've just triggered it on BB-8 and called in Aura to stun him so he can't counterattack, and now we're just going to go all in on BB-8 over here. Try and trigger that contract. Lovely jubbly. Oh, we've got contract. Isn't that wonderful? We'll mass assist onto BB-8 right now. I'm not going to use this disintegrate just yet because they've got spare parts. And the problem with spare parts is it will always revive. Even if I was to kill with disintegrate, that BB-8 is going to revive. So I'm just going to call in an assist, hopefully with Aura Singh to trigger an extra stun. BB-8 has now been defeated. Isn't that wonderful? And then we're just going to go ahead and find a unit to try and get another stun on. Wonderful. I'm going to get stealth over here, try and get some more attempted stuns. And this is kind of it, really. What I recommend you guys do is when you get that first attempt to stun with to disintegrate with Mando, after you've gotten rid of the first character, so you've gotten rid of spare parts, just take out Sortie. Just take out Sortie. Boom. At this point, you could probably go full auto, but if you are concerned that you're not going to land enough stuns, take it off full auto and just spam specials. Spam specials apart from Mando's disintegrate, obviously. Now, you shouldn't have too many issues getting those stuns because you do have quite a few stuns on this team. Because, Bosk's first special, Cad's second special, the basic on Aura Singh, and you've got a couple of mass assists over here as well. So the chances of you getting those 30 stun attempts is relatively high. But if you do want to just drag it out a little bit and make sure that you don't actually defeat the units, you can drag out this battle like permanently, basically. As long as you don't insta-kill, they're always going to revive. So just do it with what you will. What you could do, in fact, is even go so far as to say, once we've got it down to just 1 unit left on the field, you can just change it up and go auto basic for the remaining couple of minutes before trying to finish off. Like at this point, for example, we could just change this to auto basic, and we know that Aura can attempt to apply stuns on her basic, and they will probably get round to the revive before we defeat them. 2, 1, there we go, there is a revive again, and we can just leave this on auto basic for a good couple of minutes. Now, you might end up defeating them in time, who knows, I'm not sure. But again, like I said, if you're just trying to drag out that battle to make sure you get those 30 stuns, you can do something like this. I'm not going to do it now because, you know, I've already got the feats done, and I'm giving you guys the blueprint of how to get it done, rather than show you entirely how it's done. So I've already done it. You won't see any feats pop up. You saw it's already done, yada, yada, yada. Now, those of you that maybe, for some reason, just don't have very good bounty hunters or can't get that to work, you can do it, of course, with Jedi. The easiest way to do it is probably Jedi Master Luke. So we could go in with... Where is Jedi? So Jedi Master Luke with Jedi Knight Luke is a pretty good combo here for stunnages, just because we can get AoE stuns with Luke, and then I would even throw in Ayla. Now, the reason I like Ayla is because Ayla can crit. Whenever she crits, she has a chance to stun. Isn't that great? The answer is yes, that's fantastic. So yeah, we could use this sort of setup. This could probably do it on full auto. Jedi Knight Luke obviously has got an AoE stun, so that's pretty useful. I'm going to focus down on BB-8 over here. There is a stun on direct focus from Jedi Knight Luke as well. We've got the AoE stun here. That's also going to reduce their max health and protection. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis can stun on this first special as well, so we've got loads and loads of stuns here. Let's just call in Ayla to attempt to get the stun, and then we'll just basic with Ayla, because if she crits, she has an attempted stun there. Let's just always call in Ayla, I think. Always call in Ayla, Ayla. And she will hopefully be able to get us to stun many times. Many times. And of course, we are absolutely destroying these guys. Now, don't forget, it is okay for us to kill them, because they will revive. What we can do is just slowly but surely try to whittle away on these stuns for as long as possible. Always call in Ayla, like I said. Every single time she calls in, if she crits, she has a chance to stun. So let's just call in Luke over here, get rid of BB-8. We'll do a big old Efflux over here, call in Ayla. Wonderful. Let's swip it back over to Luke, just so we can try and reset the turns as quickly as possible. And once again, with Jedi Knight Cal, that first special can also stun. And you kind of get the gist here, don't you guys? You kind of get the gist. It's pretty easy and straightforward. AoE stuns as everybody has been revived. Wonderful. We also have an insta-kill available on Jedi Knight Cal. All we would really need to do at this point is try to defeat the entire enemy team before that counter is completely gone. Now, I'm not going to try and defeat them this round, because as you can see, they've still got lots and lots of health right now. So there would be no chance of us trying to beat them over here. Let's go ahead and go into ultimate as well. Wait for them all to revive. There's the big old revive. Let's pass it round to Luke. The reason I'm passing it over to Luke is because his stun will reduce stuff, and then we can do a nice big Efflux. I was going to try and focus down on Trip Zero then. Unfortunately, didn't quite manage to get round in time. That's a bit of a shame, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm sure if we just put this on auto, eventually we will chew through. Lots and lots of damage. If it wasn't for the fact that Trip Zero there was under stealth, we probably would have finished it last round. But that should be able to get you to 30 stun attempts as well. You could probably do it with a Jedi Knight Luke lead. As long as you've got Revan in there, you can reduce the max health of Sortie. You need some sort of insta-kill as well to deal with her in the long run. But that's kind of it. Now, public service announcement, guys. Don't forget to use your 7-star Jedi Temple Guard if you have one. I would recommend just going in and using something that's going to be very, very powerful with it. Probably not gas, truth be told. I like something that's going to have perma kills on it. Perma kills. So what you could do is just take in something like, I don't know, Slacker, let's say. Should we go Slacker? We'll take in Slacker and all these people, and then I'll just throw in Temple Guard. Mine's at 7-star, but if you've got it 3-star going at tier 2, if you've got it 4-star, tier 4, 5-star, tier 6, and so on and so forth, right? You just need to finish the battle. The unit doesn't need to survive, so you don't need any gear investment. It's just going to be entirely dependent on using that unit within the battle. Don't try and go in at the higher tiers because it doesn't seem to work for some reason. Normally when you go in at higher tiers, it'll do it for all the lower tiers. It doesn't seem to work with Jedi Temple Guard. I don't know why. Well, with marquees in general for Galactic challenges. The reason I'm using Slacker here, of course, is that enemies defeated by Slacker can't be revived. That first one is the exception because, much like Night Sister Zombie, the spare parts revive cannot be prevented, so we are always going to have to defeat them multiple times in that instance. Alright, so Slacker's got ult, we'll just jump up into ult. Honestly, I could just put this on full auto at this point, and we will all have a jolly good time. We will, of course, be able to siphon all the mastery from Sortie. Nobody ramps quite like Slacker, although one could argue that potentially Bane does. But yeah, he's a pretty good unit. Gets lots of damage. Honestly, use anything that you think will win the battle at this point, because we're only looking for a successful attempt over here. We don't need to worry about Temple Guard surviving or anything like that. There we go. Jobs are good, and that is us successfully galactically challenged on a Wednesday morning. Hopefully this particular video was useful to you. If it was, hit that like button down below, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out. May the Force be with you.